Looks like the skip came in again, huh?
It's trying.
All right, well, we might as well just play the music then. If that doesn't stop them, nothing will.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by
The Old Tube Radio Network.
That's what he said. Thank you, Billy May and the orchestra, Stan Freeberg, X4000, and a host of others with the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radios glowing in the dark. Check to see that the red light's on, that the wiggle meters are going, and all is well. As you might have heard, the skip that was in and then went completely out has come back in again, so maybe we will get some faraway check-ins. We don't mind if you're going to grab a radio for us. Things could change around when the gray line goes away, and until that time, we'll be talking to you, the shortwave listeners and the tube radio operators coming up, warming up the radios from the late 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Perhaps we'll get some of the non-class D11 meter radios. That's okay as well. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair of the Old Tube Radio Network, where we promote the use and distribute information about Class D11 meter citizen band radios right here, right now on a Saturday evening, 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Thanks for joining us at a live channel 11-27085 at oldtuberadio.net, or maybe you've clicked on to the video. And the reminder, do not add pictures to radio. They are reminding me that this is the new 8-week roster. We're kind of back on schedule here, which means I need to 00, right? So where is the, over here, thank you. And for those that had perfect attendance get thrown into the little jar here, and the 00 used to be reserved for the FCC commissioner, where that to be an actual thing. And then it goes to some lucky shortwave listener that has checked in many, many times, so we can kind of put them on the spot. All right, I think I have drawn an item here, so I will give that back to you. Thank you very much. And the 00 for the next 8 week, if you're playing the home game, you can scribble it in, is, well, he's right over there, SWL19, Chet. Well, that will be easy. You can just say, check me in, and I will do that. Get the 00 going on the SWL check-in. All right, wanted to get that out of the way, but before we go too far, let me see if there's any stations that need early check-ins. OTR is listening.
24 checking in. 56.
650.
All right, 24, 56, and 650. We've got you over.
37.
37 as well. And up in Course Gold, amongst the skip, 195. Got you, Jim. And there are a couple of stations also that are checking in or have it checked in already on the video site, and we will get those as we continue on. All right, let's see. Somebody, what else is reminding me? Yeah, because sometimes if you don't check in for a long time, the numbers vacate, so we can keep it a finite list. And there happened to be a number open. And where is Rob? He's somewhere in Texas. He's got one leg up, recuperating. He's got the ham radio station, the CB radio station on the way. I think I saw a T240D, which is a very good radio. And maybe putting some of the ham stuff back. And we do have a number. We put you on the list. It's page 2 if you're playing the home game. And it will be, oh, that's right. How did we get that? That's right next to me. We got SWL 32. So, Rob, when you call out 32, you can say, that's me. All right, here we go. We've got SWL number 1 is checked in, of course. And I am looking to see if SWL number 2 OBP is around the building somewhere. Well, I don't see Mr. O. Oh, he's right there. I'm sorry, Kevin. I missed you because I'm looking high and low, and you are in between. Number 2, if you see OBP, Oscar Bravo Papa, SWL number 2 on the chat there, let him know. He is 9 pounds and good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. And we've got a proxy check-in for SWL number 3. I've got to get my page proper here. There is SWL5, Mr. Levon was over at Old Radio Night. He will probably be jumping in here. The crossband is up. I heard 52. The Echo link is linked. We might get a mystery subscriber tonight.
Working.
And it's working. Thank you very much. Tony is ready to go on that. What else? Jingle Singers. Oh, and let me just check the video display over on Old Radio Night. We will try a coast-to-coast link up. Yeah, he's got the radio. It's looking good. Let me see if we got some audio from Old Radio Night.
There. Hey, Kansas City. That's right.
There it is. He's still going. They have skip all the time on Old Radio Night. Unlike here, where nobody wants to talk to us on Skipland, although we got it last week. Let's go to SWL number 7.
K6 Give him a proxy.
I will proxy Mr. Ed. He will at some point have some trickery, whether it's FM, AM, or digital, probably to get in. Heading out to Sangertown. This station sounded great last night on the Ditchbanks sideband net. Now, if he's in the air chair tonight, we'll have another replay. Hello, 982 SWL9 Dirt Dog.
How about it? This is Dirt Dog 982. How about it? This is Dirt Dog 982 checking in.
982 Dirt Dog, you are sounding good tonight. Heard you last night on the Ditchbanks sideband net on lower sideband here on AM. Doing a good job, and the X is in the square. Thanks for joining us. Over.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, we're going to have a good night tonight. Good sounding station, and so far the band is looking good. SWL 10 and 30. Remember last week, Dwayne popped in right at the end, sounding good from Idaho. We're still doing the Pacific, so the band may not have changed just yet, so we'll put that on hold. Here's the dynamic duo, SWL 11, SWL 12, Dan and Dapper Dan Cornbread, and Dapper Dan, looking dapper always, with the Heath Kit. And Captain Robert joining us tonight. You're in early, so I don't know if you've got an early call tomorrow, but looking good. Captain Robert checking in out of where? Somewhere around Las Vegas, I think. Somewhere out that way. We got Palm Springs, UDX 4570. Hello to you. Bill is in. Hello, William, and some SWLs that I will get to. Ben-Hur, CB, and Trucker tips. Looking good here on the Old Tube Radio tonight. Maybe on the crossband. How about a check-in from SWL 13? I was looking and listening to see if Mikey's got the 2-meter fired up. And in Sangertown, where they hear everybody, whether they want to or not, SWL 14.
SWL 14 checking in, and it is getting noisy out here.
Yeah, it just started back up again. Hippopotamus was in earlier. I thought we might get a check-in from him, but the conditions have changed. Hey, there it is. And there's 13, so we got 14 live and 13 on the crossband. Sounding good, Sean. We'll look for you later.
Your microphone's full of noise there. Is it picking up the other radio, or is it staticky?
Let's head over to where it's tomorrow. Or is it yesterday? No, it's yesterday here. It's always yesterday here. And tomorrow, SWL 15, hello, Hans. I see you in there looking good. Thanks for getting up early, joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And there's the Vaughn. If I didn't see it there's the 5 on the check-in. 15 is in. SWL 16. I see you peeking behind the counter over there. Yeah, it's 50 degrees where you are, and we are plummeting into the 80s from near 100. So the summer that wasn't all that bad is going to get even better coming up next week. So you might see me in a sweater and the seersucker suit next week. Thank you. Thanks, Charles, for checking in. Looking good.
Real quick, I'm not going to stick and stay. I just want to say g'day. 296 166,
I just want to see if Hippopotamus was hearing us out there. SWL 17. SWL 18. We've got a check-in from Mikey on Facebook. 19. The guy who is 00. You're going to have to get paid extra, right? You're 00. You're 19. You're doing the cue cards. And anything else? All right. He said, bring it on. Well, we'll do that. SWL 20. Now, there have been rumors that SWL 20 might be from a distant secret location. So we're keeping the Echo link open tonight. We're keeping the DX open tonight. See if we can't pick up Harvey from his remote location sometime tonight.
I was just waiting, quick wait to 918. I heard a coconut as well. 296.
All right, I know they're going to be hearing us. All right, if you're listening, 21, this is your cue, because I know we usually have about a 15 to 20 second delay. So this is the cue to get everybody ready, and I'll get you in the queue here. I'm going to stop talking. You'll hear the audio go away, and you can check in, listening for 21 Coast to Coast at Old Radio Night. And so what I'll do is I'll come up. All right. Back on the air here. Let's see if he's listening. Coast to Coast. Old Radio Night.
Oh, I see it over there. It's Bell.
He's on the Galaxy Saturn Turbo Black Cat reverse preamp Delta M2.
We know how to go over there. It must have slid off.
Who got the shout-out wheel tonight?
See if I can get it.
Okay, I don't think he's listening.
Need a grabber. I got one out.
Oh, he's having some technical difficulties. No problem. Anybody, let him know. We'll try this again. So I'll keep my eye on the chat when he's ready.
Here.
Coast to Coast 21.
And get the phone.
Check out Old Radio Night. It's going on right now. And I don't know what's going on, but he's crawling under the table. Looking for something. I've done that before. All right, we're back here live and direct in Fresno. Let's see, is Australia, is Alaska listening tonight, 22. How about from near and far out? Maybe it's way far out. SWL 23, Skidoo. And 888 Beagleman, hello to you. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 24 checked in moments ago. SWL 25.
SWL 25 checking in, Dennis.
All right, that is a good sounding radio. I know you don't have elaborate stuff over there, but that one, it's not the Eagle, but it sounds good. Over.
No, it's not the Eagle, but if it's making the trip, it's working, as my ex-German boss would say.
That's right. You retired, guys. I was going to try and join you here this year, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see.
Okay, Dennis. Anyway, yeah, check in 74.2 if you will. And thanks for doing what you're doing, man. Back to you.
All right, sounding good in the neighborhood. Thanks for checking into the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's see, Douglas, I want to say hello to you, people listening and watching the Old Tube Radio Network. Private Thor, you guys checking into the Ditchbank sideband that yesterday. Was hearing the stations here, was listening to some of the SDRs up in Washington, Montana, British Columbia, Alberta, and the signals were good. So we'll see if we can't get that same thing happening on AM tonight. Page 2, we are looking for SWL 27. I was going to ask Wayne if he heard the National Guard flying over today. There's some special thing they were doing, and they were out in force this morning. Let's see what is going on in Sacramento, where it's probably minus 12 with the Delta breeze and the cooler temperatures, but that's okay because I'm sure there will be some tasty fare up and running. We've got 71 right now, man. It was 90 moments ago. NFL party in the green room tomorrow. Hots and hams with everything else. Bulldogs won with 28 seconds left on the clock. Who are they playing? Idaho? Something? The game is already over? That can't be. I'm going to watch the replay. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Sounds like a nail biter, but a good one as well. Gary, you are checked in and looking good. Thanks for the update. Oh, man. I am in trouble. If I can't make it through the roll call, I can't even get the water open. Okay. I think it's the smoke. We got smoke from fires and things going on here, and it is really affecting my voice. Hello to Edmond, Alberta. This is over at old2radio.com. Rancho Cordova up there. Philadelphia here tonight. Belfast, Maine, Plymouth, Minnesota. Belfry, Kentucky. Is that you, Van Man? You get around. Seattle, Washington, Tacoma, Washington. A lot of Seattle and Tacoma checking in tonight. You guys, we are on 27085, channel 11. Listen in, because as the evening wears on, we may be wafting over on AM here tonight. It worked last night. Got a proxy check in for SWL 29. And hello, Idaho, if you're out there. Oh, the game was this afternoon. Well, where was I? I thought they were playing Idaho. Why did they play so early? Usually they don't do afternoon games unless they're, well, I don't know. I don't know what they do. That would be, I would say Hawaii, but Hawaii they play even later. Well, anyway, that's good. Let's go to SWL 31, Robert and Teresa, Hendersonville. Something like that. We'll keep an eye out for what's going on there. And there's supposed to be like a little bell or a buzz or something when we add somebody to the list. SWL 32, Rob, hello, checking in. Sorney elevated, the T240 AD do, awaiting new caps. Ham station in the works. Exciting stuff happening. I talked to 20 meters today. Was it K5WOW in Texas, right down the street from you somewhere. And boy, was he sounding good. That's on, was it 14.212? So even though the conditions, if you went to the solar thing, said everything's poor, it was actually a good day today. 10 meters was in. Oh, Oregon State, thank you. Aaron, you're going to be up here in the in the green room with Charlie and Chet helping me out. So, all right, Rob, you should refresh your page. And the 404 will go away with a 32. Looking good. Well, we'll be looking forward to possibly the Yellow Bird and some other things. And some other stuff I got to catch up with as well. On to SWL 33. That's myself, Bozo Control. Anybody that's running around here in the studio and they needs a check-in. SWL 34, that is Jimmy Fiedler and the group out that way. He had a great Facebook picture post, updated his picture today. Looking great. So I will get you checked in, Jimmy, if you're listening or watching the replay. I know you're busy. It was on the CW. That's, what is that? Not the Country Western. I know what that is. I haven't turned on a television since 2009, but I know what you're talking about. SWL 35 is Mr. Bill, Red Monkey Communications. I am seeing if he stopped by yet. That is last week. He was our last check-in from Seattle, Washington is listening in stereo and then some tonight. And 006 Gary, is that Arizona Gary listening to Old Tube Radio Network? UDX 111, we're coming up to you somewhere. Don't go away. Let's go to SWL 36. And Ken, we got you. You 36, no wonder you're there. You know the roll call better than I do. You must have the home game. Putting an X in the square for 36, and it should say that you are checked in right above my head. That's good. They like that when it actually shows that the net controller is working. SWL 37 is checked in early. Just want to make sure it was popcorn time or something. And, oh, hey, John, 128, the power is out, so he's checking in over the iPhone, like the other way. I didn't see. I see from last week. So I don't know if you have another early day or not. I'll do you right now, just in case power, you have to run around. You've got an early night, 1, 2, 8. Okay, I thought somebody was calling me here. Never mind. John is one of the original SWLs back in the day when they actually gave you a number on the popular electronics magazine. All right, sounding good. Where was it? SWL 38 would be Sam in Byron, probably listening in. Yeah, Van Man. I worked in the television industry for 30 years, and something happened. I think it would be like if you worked for Philip Morris and your job was making cigarettes. At some point, you would never take up smoking. So work in television, and you will never watch it again. That's what happens. And 52 says, did you pay the power bill? I thought he was going to say, did I play the Powerball? I did neither. But the UPSs are behind the rack, and so if the lights go out, see, the lights aren't on the UPS, so I'll be totally, if the power does go out, I'll be totally in darkness, and we'll have about 5 minutes of radio happening. Popcorn 913 has brought the popcorn machine and set it up in the mezzanine, so if you don't go down to the green room, call for Popcorn 913. Out of the CB break, barbecue, and get together here in the Bay Area on 10/4. That's right. In fact, I just did the new list, and we will be on the air on 10/4. I believe that happens on a Saturday evening. So, boy, I hope we can get some live check-ins from you guys at the barbecue. Looking for SWL 39. Yeah, I'm seeing if Hippopotamus is going to jump in here. SWL 40.
SWL 40 checking in at a balmy 82.3 degrees.
Yeah, the temperature went down. All right, I looked like they said my receive audio was low, so I brought that up, so maybe it'll equal things. I was listening to The Adventures of the E-Bike, 8,500. So you went all the way up to 8,500 feet on the battery, huh?
Actually, I went to 9,500 feet.
Okay, because I think Huntington's at 75, and you said you were looking down on Edison. So good. So I'm sorry I wasn't around. Thursday's always a busy day, or else I'm sure I probably would have heard you direct simplex. I don't have the beam up anymore. It would be interesting to see. But you made it back, so you can count another one on that one.
The next trip, I'll have better communications.
All right, looking good. You are checked in. Very good. Let's see. Out in the Carolinas now, Van Man. So was that you? Who's in? Seattle's still there. Ware Shoals, South Carolina. Belfry, Kentucky still in. Plymouth, Minnesota. Got a couple other check-ins that we will get to at the appropriate time. SWL 41 is in. Road Dog 507. Of course, the Orange County React, Hudson Valley, New York. Saying good evening to everyone and doing what they do and doing it quite well. Backing up, 11 and 12, Dan and Dapper Dan. We someone proxied you guys in, but I said they will be here live and direct because Dapper Dan is not going to miss the old Tube Radio Network. He's probably putting a little bit of extra polish on the Heath kit to display it properly. And there's the Heath kit, the green, the turquoise color, whatever it is, and the brown color, whatever it is. It looks good. and always matches his outfit. So 11 and 12 looking good on the old Tube Radio Network. Dan and Dapper Dan, Cornbread, and all the trimmings. Thanks for joining us. SWL 42. I do believe I will get a check-in for Mr. KW.
Yes, you will.
And I will do it right now. Tony, SWL 100. I will do that. I see you on the Albert. I see you in Albert on the Echolink. So, yeah, if you have to go before we get to, I will make sure that 100 gets checked in. 42 is in, SWL 43. This station was beaconing in last night around the corner, talking Skip, hearing everybody from high atop Mount Hyatop. SWL 44, I don't know. I have a feeling he's not going to hear me with all the Skip tonight. But Ray, if you're listening, I'm getting you checked in. You were booming in here on the Ditch Banks sideband net last night. SWL 45, Paul and Kelly checking you guys in. Hopefully the smoke is not creating too much havoc where you guys are up there. But we hope to get you back on the air soon and sounding good. Thanks for joining us. And Cornbread says, Dapper Dan never misses his favorite show. I think that would be Gilligan's Island. I don't know. Mannix? What could possibly be his favorite show? And is this a show? I don't think that this is a net. Anyway, well, that sounds good. I appreciate that. SWL 46, is Arlen listening in Wisconsin? I'm looking to see if we've got Wisconsin on the board. Don't see it there. Hello, Arlen. Turquoise and gray. That sounds like that tile combination in those mid-century modern bathrooms. I think I've got something like that here. I've got the, was it Mamie Eisenhower pink in one of them, so maybe turquoise and gray are not far away. Let's go to SWL 47.
Good evening to all from the Radio Lounge, SWL 47, where in the location here, we too unfortunately still have a lot of decor from the 1970s against our will, so don't feel bad about that.
I will try not to. I broke my Sunbeam, my little sort of Frank Lloyd Wright Sunbeam wall clock. It fell down, and the time, the clock part of it just broke into a million pieces. But it's one of those battery things. I can stuff one in, but it would look really great behind me, so I'll have to do that. Anyway, 70s is good. The 50s is good. It all ties in with our theme here. The old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark, recreating the sound, the demeanor, the just about everything that would have happened 50 years ago. Were you to be sitting in the air chair of your brand new, spanking brand new Tube Radio bought from the electronics store. We'll be getting to that. Anyway, you are sounding good. I'm sure you're enjoying the weather. It's going to be like too cold to ride the bike in about a week. Over.
Okay. It's disturbing that you'd make that comment. I had ridden my motorcycle in months, and I just drove it for the first time in forever to get a Powerball ticket. So again, as always, your clairvoyance is just disturbing. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to the cooler weather.
Well, it should be okay. I mean, even 80 degrees is going to be nice when the sun is out. It'll probably be perfect riding weather. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to do pay the power bill. See, my handwriting is not very good. So when I do the little dry erase board, it's like, is that pay the power bill or buy the power ball? And so I did neither. So I'll be back next week with the seersucker suit and the same sorry tie. I hate to say.
Okay, well, I'll sign off, temporarily sign off with this. We do have that dry erase board around here, too. And on that, back to you.
All right, red light is on. All right, sounding good. Thanks for checking in. The Old Tube Radio Network is where you are at. 27085 is the frequency. We're at oldtuberadio.net. A video thing going on. The reason we are here and have been here since 1980-something was to promote the use and distribute information about tube radios. A group of us said, you know what? We've got these tube radios. We need to fire them up occasionally, and let's not bother everybody else. Let's head down to Channel 11 and see if anybody else wants to join us. And this is a result of that. So thanks for joining us. Hopefully you have a get on the air mode. It doesn't have to be tubes, wherever you are. Back in the day, there was, you remember, right? There was, every channel was busy. And now it just seems like Saturday night people come out to be on the radio. So it was good today. A lot of skip and everything else. Continuing with the roll call because we want to check in some radios. SWL 48. Listening for Sam. He sounded good last week. I'll get 48 checked in if you're listening, Sammy. And Neil said he was living in Fresno 86, 87 when the net started. Then took off for faraway places, reconnected in 210. Yeah, I mean, that is mind-boggling when somebody comes back and they actually have their CB radio and the antenna's working and they say, wait a minute, am I in a time warp? Who is that guy? I mean, well, there was a lot of different net controllers. We were all kind of swapping net control nights, and I was working a lot at the TV station. Sometimes I couldn't be on for 6 months. I'd have to climb up on the roof during one of my shifts. Climb the ladder and put up the walkie-talkie and check myself in. So on it goes, having fun. SWL 49. Hello, Smitty and Sweet Country Mama.
Yeah, give him a proxy.
Yeah, I think he was on the ditch banks last night. Sounded good, so we'll get them in there as well. I get Sammy. Let's go over to, and I heard this guy earlier sounding good from somewhere around Sangertown, SWL 51. Dave, Mr. 305, 51.
305, SWL 51 checking in out of beautiful downtown Sanger.
Downtown Sanger, next to the old clock and the big bell and the little horn that goes off at 10:15 or something. I don't know. I'm just making that up, but it probably does do all that. You're sounding good, and we've got you checked in. Over. All right, here's the guy that might be checking in various modes. We'll see what happens. SWL 52.
Dennis, from behind the golden microphone, SWL 52 is here live and direct and in the YAM mode. I've been slacking off the last couple weeks, but I am here and I am on YAM.
Yeah, beautiful YAM, like WONHGLR would say. You are looking good. You are not. What was his song? You are not a piss weak mobile. You are sounding good tonight on the AM mode, doing good. And why did they have an afternoon game if everybody was on the West Coast? It must be something new, I guess. But anyway, thanks for that. You're sounding good. Good to be back in the air chair. Might be another good evening for a walk around the block. Over.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dennis. The TV scheduling, the only thing I can think of is because the game was not on ESPN, because I know when we're on ESPN, all the East Coast teams take priority and they go, no, you're playing at 9 o'clock. No, they, for whatever reason, the game was on CW, and they slotted us into the afternoon for whatever reason. So, yeah, it was a very unusual West Coast afternoon game. Watched bits and pieces of it, and we got out the win, so, which is good, because we're going to be in the same conference as Oregon State next year, so as things continue to realign.
All right, that's good. Yeah, it's a TV schedule thing. So it's whatever, it's the West Coast. It's whatever we can stuff them in there. And then they get an exciting game. It sounds like it was an exciting game, and then they think, oh, yeah, okay, we might have to put these guys into prime time. And then they'll knock us off They'll knock our time slot out. We don't want that. All right, you are sounding good, sir, and I got you checked in. And before we turn the page, the legend is standing by, SWL 53.
Yeah, good evening there, Dennis. On the east side of Fresno, 53, checking in, and you're sounding good there, Break.
All right, thanks for the radio report. I always make sure that I talk to people that have good receivers so that I can get a report that I'm sounding good. Thanks for that, and you are checked in. Over.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Page 3, we got the proxy check in for 54 and up the hill for SWL 55. Wondering if the skip is changing directions or just going away. SWL 56 checked in moments ago. SWL 57.
Aloha.
And aloha from the old tube radio network. Let's go to SWL 58. I'll get a proxy in for Jeremy, and then over to, probably from his appearance over at Old Radio Night, SWL 59. And did JT, what was he looking for? When we went over the check-in, he was like down on behind the radio desk looking for something. Just wonder if he ever made it. Let's go over to SWL 60. And did you enjoy the game, Joe?
Oh, man, did we love it, Dennis. Yeah, you got to turn that TV on once in a while there, Dennis. Yeah, that CW, the sister station, 59, had that game on about 12:30. Good game. The Beavers against Fresno State there. They had us going there for a while. We were kind of sawing wood back and forth there, and it got a little hairy at the end there, but we got an interception. Stole the game right at the last second. Good game, though. Anyway, SWL 60 checking in.
All right, sounding good. We got the interception right here, and I'm putting the X in the square. Thanks.
Thank you.
And Ben Hurst says, oh, no wonder he wasn't listening. He was looking for his winning Powerball ticket. So, yeah, he might still be looking for that. I hope he found it, because that will mean he'll have some new radios, and he'll have like a big screen TV, and maybe he'll just buy YouTube, and then he'll be on 24 hours a day. That'd be a good thing. Let's see if we are making a way out to Madera, Chowchilla, wherever you're at, SWL 61. And I did not hear Dino checking in early, so we'll hang on to that. SWL 62. SWL 63. SWL 64, Craig checked in early on the video here. We got him checked in. Over to SWL 65. Shortwave listener 66. He might still be in the horizontal mode shooting. Skip, I'll get Mr. Witch Doctor checked in. Checked in moments ago from Canby, Oregon, over at oldtuberadio.net, SWL 67. Hello, Bill. Now, Bill's another Fresno, Clovis, Central Valley guy that moved out and away up in Oregon, but he still tunes in, listens in to the Old Tube Radio Network and checks in that way. So, see, you don't even have to be close by, thanks to the miracle of the Universal Media NetWeb. SWL 68, also a check-in for Michael. He came in a little bit early and said, please check me in, and we'll do that. SWL 69, that's Kenny. He was also on the video out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's checking, everybody's checking their tickets. Probably checking his ticket. Let's go up the hill to a guy who never checks his tickets. They're all in the glove box of the Buick, SWL 70. I heard Mark last night in the Ditch Banks sideband, and maybe everybody is, maybe we got a lot of winners tonight. SWL71, Stan, I think he was over at oldtuberadio.net. Yeah, right when we started a couple of hours ago. We'll check in Stan from Dallas, Georgia. Put the X in the square. And Frank, 007 Extreme CB is saying hello from the Jersey Shore. 007 getting ready for the Hamfest. Where is, do tell. Tell us about the Hamfest when you get a chance. And what would be going on there? We'll be interested to hear about that. Got you checked in and looking good. Let's go to SWL 72. SWL 73. All right, there's two choices on the foot switch. You've got to hit the right one or the transmitter doesn't go off. Got a proxy check-in for SWL 74 over to SWL 75. Van Man. Oh yeah, sometimes he does live from the Hamfest. Maybe he will be out there as well. So we will get the full skinny on that. Let's go over to SWL 76. And hello, Seattle, Washington. Listening in, that the band could change any moment here. Who else? SWL 77.
77 checking in, and thank you, Dennis, for all the wonderful things you do out here, and I hope everybody's having a good, safe weekend.
Haven't broken anything yet. The weather has been excellent. I spent all morning out in the yard because it was so nice, and now I'm ready for a nap. But got to do the Old Tube Radio Network. That keeps me awake, so that's a good thing. You are sounding good, and thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
Wild Wildemar, SWL 78. We heard Richard a couple of weeks ago when we tuned down to 7,200 on 40 meters after the net. So if you're out there tonight, Richard, maybe we'll do the same thing. See what's happening out there. SWL 79. Is he radioactive? Hello, Philip.
I'll be radioactive.
Yeah, and you're sounding good. I put the big X and the square over.
Thank you, sir.
All right, now the band is getting quiet. Page 4, SWL 81. I heard Ron earlier, but I don't know if he had to run away or not. SWL 82.
82 is out here. Good evening, and yeah, it sure is nice out here.
It isn't. You keep the door open, you keep the door closed. And what radio are you on these days? Over?
Be the Yaesu 991.
All right, putting a good signal here at the 991. Sounds a little different than I'm used to hearing you, but does a good job on sideband. Does a good job on YAM. And we got you checked in. That is the voice of the Ditch Banks sideband net. You can check that net out, that show. See, they're calling you a show, too. You can check out that net on Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and it is up on 27,365. So that's 36 lower. There's a roll call, and then there's a spot for visitors and out-of-town skip things, and had quite a few last night. So check in. Ron's got a great transmitter and receiver, and he will say hello radio. Thanks, Ron.
All right, have a good night.
Over to SWL 83. Oh, JC wanted an early check-in, I think, so he's got one in now. Out there in Sylvania, Ohio, we got you in. And then the dynamic duo times 2, SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88. I looked in the Jefferson Noontime Net today, and I didn't hear Jerry on the tube radio, but he might be out there. So Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl checked in over to SWL 89. So, Van Man, it's one-stop shopping on the Hamfest. So you can come with nothing and leave with a tent and a Buick and a nice radio and an antenna and who knows what else. Let's go over to SWL 90. And Cornbread, no, you didn't. We have pictures. You have to ask politely, and we'll show them to you. Let's go over to SWL 91. I saw Felix over at Old Radio Night. And he probably was on my chart to get checked in. So 91, I think Felix was on the wheel, but I don't think he was the final guy. So Felix, we're getting you checked in. I did see Wild Wildemar, pleasant night in Wild Wildemar. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can't pick you up. I don't know. If I don't follow the air share tonight, maybe we'll go down to 7,200 and see if we can't get a live check-in. We could probably get a live check-in down there, but a check-in after the net. And yeah, it's pleasant here up in Central California as well. Let's go to SWL 92.
Break OTR.
Hey, there he is. The break OTR. Go ahead, sir. Over.
Yeah, 61. Checking in. I had to go to the store. I just got back.
All right. Well, if you're like me, you always hope that one thing that you went to the store for is actually in the bag when you get home. Over.
Yeah, Ken, that's the only thing that wasn't on my damn list. I didn't get what I went there for originally, but I needed garlic salt, too, because I kind of live on that stuff.
Yeah, that happens to me. It's like I go for one thing. There's 6 things when I get back, and the one thing I went for somehow is not there. So I think you did good, and you checked into the old Tube Radio Network as well. Go spread the garlic salt. Over.
10-4. Thanks, Dennis. You have a good evening.
All right, it's working out nice tonight, and I'm pretty sure it will be nice as well. All right, where are we at? Direct Net Roll Call. The real radios, the Tube radios are coming up soon, so don't go away. If you got one, warm it up, and we will check it in here at the old Tube Radio Network. Heading over to Clovistown for SWL 93. SWL 95. In Kokomo, looking for SWL 96. Somewhere in Boston, SWL 97. Somebody said get Jim a proxy check-in, which I will do. And yeah, the note where Felix got an early check-in at 91. That takes us to, SWL 98, Tracy, at the Central Valley Ditch Bank Sea Beers. The page out there with a lot of good stuff. And thanks for the I would say crazy, but not crazy, for the artwork that promotes not only this net, but the Ditch Banks sideband. That a lot of fun stuff going on there. So thanks, Tracy, for doing that. Let's go to SWL 99. All right, Ben-Hur, drive careful. 700 miles is a long haul. What do they say? You have a long way to go and a short time to get there. You're going to do what they say can't be done, but you're going to do it anyway. So have fun. Let's see. Oh, we're going over to the Echo Link link. So let me get that fired up. So we're looking for SWL 100, KD4BAO from KB6GFD, over. All right, we'll get SWL 100 on the Echo link. I believe Tony is fired up here.
Good evening, Dennis. This is SWL 100. Please check me in. Good to hear you. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, it's good to be heard. Tony is our purveyor of tubes on the air. I talked to a couple of a soda station, which is Summits on the air, and a POTA station, which is Parks on the air. One was in California and one was in Washington. Also, the Route 66 guys are up on the amateur bands. There's probably 20 or 30 stations across the USA in the towns frequented by the old Route 66. I talked to a couple of them. So it's looking really good. Thanks, Tony, for checking in. KB6G update. And while I'm here on the Echolink link, Albert, if you are there, go ahead and take a transmission. KI6CBA from KB6GFD. Go ahead. See if we can get Al out of Sparks, Nevada. There he is.
Modulation, it's going great. Oh, KB6GFD. That's who I'm calling, 1KI6CBA. Hey, it's good to be on the old-time radio network with Dennis. I really love listening to the callers in, and I'm finding people are all over the United States. And it sounds good. Well, I don't really have a whole lot to say, but I'm glad to be with you, and I'll be listening to the radios tonight. 73.
All right, 73, thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Sounding good with the audio tonight, and we will catch you next week. KB6G update. Directed net roll call. What channel does Route 66 people use? This is actually on ham radio frequencies, and they are, depending on where they were at. I heard one from Santa Monica. The guy I talked to is in, was it Kansas City, Missouri, which I think is part of the old 66 route. So they have a station. They have a special one-by-one call, and they will be on randomly for the next week or week and a half. So you could probably search for like Route 66 on the air, and it'll give you a list of frequencies. Even if you want to listen in, when I SWL, you can do that as well. And hear the stations checking in and getting checked in, and that is an annual thing they do once a year. And if you can collect their cards or something, get a little certificate if you can contact all the stations along Route 66. Where are we going? Oh, John, SWL 102 out there in Arkansas. Oh, he's right there. Checking in. All right, John, I will click the button, and you are officially, there it goes. Officially checked in the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining us. SWL 103, Joey checked in over at oldtuberadio.net. The Coyote saying 73 to the gang. My handle back when I was in high school was the Canary, because I had a bird in my room that would sing when I keyed the microphonium. And so that handle kind of stuck. So the Canary is going to stay out of the way of the Coyote tonight. Thanks, Joey, for checking in. Up the hill, see if Mr. Crawdad's in the air chair tonight. 109, over. I'll get proxy for Crawdad. The one-by-one call is, and I guess you have to get a special, and I guess the FCC gives it to you. It's a special call only for special event stations. It's sort of when you hear somebody, instead of being, this is K6TO or something like that. It'll be a W6B or a W6A. In fact, there's something like that. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G on the suffix that will designate A for the guys on the West Coast, and then you move your way up to Chicago, which I think is the end of their line, and they'll be up at the high end of the alphabet. But that sort of lets you know when you hear that call, there's some special event station, some special thing they're doing, and then you can go to QRZ.com and look it up, and they'll tell you all about it. But that's what's going on. So the ones I heard today on 20 meters were at A and B. They were in Santa Monica and somewhere else, like Los Angeles. That's the west part of the route. We are doing the roll call, and then we're getting to the radios. SWL 110, SWL 111. Well, the receive goes away. The receive goes away. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm transmitting correctly. SWL 113. And who is that? Alberto. Hello from Portugal. Thank you for listening into the Old Tube Radio Network. And I wish we had I don't know if they have a little translation along the bottom of the screen saying, Que cosa? What is going on here, right? All right, anyway, let's go to SWL 114.
114, checking in.
All right, Wayne, sounding good. And heard you make it in last night from far out, but you are here right now on the Old Tube Radio Network. We got the X and the square.
Oh, that's pretty good. You heard me from Kerman.
Yeah, because we was like, wait a minute, 114's always there, but you made it in before they turned it off, and it was sounding good.
Thank you for the check-in.
All right, thanks for stopping by. We are going up to 128. John, we checked in prior. Let me make sure to do it again. Keep in the rotation here. SWL 131. And the noise is coming back. A lot of little static. That wasn't happening before. Maybe the band is opening up. SWL 133. And I don't know what contests were going on. I heard a guy in Canada doing something. I don't know if it says a CQP or whatever. But the 6220, is that, 6220, something like that. My Spanish is not good, so I won't even try. So it's 73, is that what you do? Or you say you do the 73? That would be one way to do it. Let's go to SWL 135.
Hello there. SWL 135 checking in.
Sounding good. Heard you practicing on the radio. It is ready to go. So we'll have a spot for you on the list coming up. And Bill, Mel Blanc used to do Daffy Duck impersonations when they were kids on the radio. He was in Pacific Palisades. And back, I think I related this story. I'll do it in 25 words or less. I'm in L.A., in the beach area, Manhattan Beach. We were looking up around the bay toward Malibu, Pacific Palisades, when it wasn't burning down. And his son, Noah, so this had been like 72, 73, had a mobile CB radio, and I guess it was parked somewhere, and they put Mel on, and he was doing the voices on the CB radio. And yes, indeed, you are correct. Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd and all those guys. So I actually got it's probably in my logbook somewhere, I actually got a chance to chat with Mel. And I think the radio was Noah's. So, but that was, golly, that was 50 years ago? More than 50 years ago. A long time ago. But thanks for that memory. Let's go over to SWL 137.
KV6 GFP W6 OTR.
All right, and let's stop the presses because I do believe we have an Echolink check-in. And hello, radio. I see you on the list. You are live and direct. So if the connection holds up, you sound good. Take a transmission 20 over. All right, this is Harvey on hopefully the Echolink link. Here we go.
Yes, this is number 20. Please check me in 29 and 54. And I'm checking in via Echolink from Skagway, Alaska. And the way the internet works here, because I'm on a cruise ship, I can only have one device going at a time. So I'm on my phone through Echolink. Then I have to kind of stop doing this. Then I can go back onto the OTR net. But then if I want to go back to Echolink, I have to sign out of that and go back to Echolink and go back and forth. So it's one of those things. Anyway, I'm having a good time up here. I'm listening to the show, and Cliff, your radio sounds good. So does everyone else. Okay, have a good show. I'll be listening. KB6GFD, W6OTR.
All right, sounding good, sir. A little bit of wackiness on the audio, and I don't know. I'm sure that's the connection coming down. Could be where your mouth is on the microphone. But you'll hear the replay, and we got 100% of that up in Skagway. I did it, was it a year ago, 2 years ago? That's fun. Hopefully there's not too much walking for you, but it's all kind of straight. It's all kind of straight, and then you go up there, and you take the elevators when you're on the cruise ship to get to where you want to go. But you can take the stairs, but save that for Skype. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the extra effort and figuring out how to do and not to do what it is necessary to check in. And you are 100% from far, far away. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, 73, KB6GFD, over. So there you go. That's Harvey on the Echo Link. He's on a cruise ship.
W6OTR. Sean, you sounded good, and so did Dirt Dog. Okay, W6OTR out.
And he's listening in to OTR from near and far out. Thanks. All right, I want to get through the roll call here so we can continue with the radios. That was fun. Harvey said he was going to try to get on the Echo Link, and it worked. It worked better than I thought, because a lot of times you do not have service on the cruise ships. Looking for SWL 145. And I'll get Tony checked in, SWL 147. That is Neil, who checked in early. Let's see if Bobby is out there. Snow Beast Jr., SWL 188. Somebody said get a proxy check in for Bobby, which I will do. 195 from beautiful chilly Course Gold tonight. Jim checked in moments ago. And then Mr. Shockwave, 226. And I'll get a check in for Jeff. Anybody that I missed here on the Old Tube Radio Network? All right, I have to jump out of the air chair. You know, we have the questions, but I'll bring those in a little bit later when we have a lull in the tube part. And there was a question. They're saying there's a question. All right. Drum and Son. I took for granted that this is all being transmitted on the regular 40-channel CB frequency. Am I mistaken? It's multiple venues here. What I'm doing with this is live transmission on channel 1127.085 live, and you hear the receiver. I've got it piped in through the sound card and out to you, the listening audience, the shortwave listeners. We have linked up on the receive side here a 2-meter link, which we talked to earlier, an internet link, which is where we hooked into old Radio Night, and as you just heard, on the amateur radio side, an Echo link, and that was one of our locals who is on a cruise ship far away, jumping in on their 21st century technology, listening into the old tube radios and saying hello radio. So it's a mix of stuff, but the whole thing originates where the power to go out, and we didn't have a Universal Media Network, we would still be doing this live and direct via the crystal-controlled Part 95 or whatever it is, accepted Citizen Band Radio. And then we're also streaming at oldtuberadio.net. There's a live audio stream if you listen in that way, which is what Harvey was doing. And then there's that link that puts the video. Don't add pictures to radio, folks. Puts the video up and does that way. So we've been doing this since 1986 or 87. And of course, we didn't have all this trickery back then. But as things happened, the 21st century kind of came crashing down on us. We added some extra stuff so that pretty cool. People from near and far out can jump in and let us know what they're doing and all that good stuff. And we will be checking in radios in a moment. I'll be back, and we'll be doing what the Old Tube Radio Network does best. I'm back in a bit. Oh, and Richie Foxman, I want to try something with you tonight. You can stay up late. There is an SDR. I hope you're listening. You can hear me. There's an SDR near you, and I want to link into that. So just let me know. If you can't do it tonight, that's fine. If you have the radio set up, radioactive with your best, and you might, I don't know if you are vertically polarized or horizontally polarized, it can do both, but sometime tonight before we sign out, I want to log into the SDR near you and see if we can't dial up 27085 and hear you on there. So if you're able to get radioactive, we can do that maybe in the next hour, but that would be worth a try. It might not work. We used to do it with the Squamish guys, Peter and Albert. They had a SDR really close to them, and we checked them in. So I'm just curious to see if we can do that with where you are. But we'll talk more about that. All right, back in a bit here. Back in the bed here. I don't know what that is. That just came on. All right, don't go away. It's just taking a little longer than usual to get set up here. I think everything is good now.
Find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, we're back. Sorry, it took a little bit longer. There was a strange noise that cropped up there right at the end of the roll call, and I was going around to make sure there wasn't something hanging off or doing bad, but it was all good. So we were back into the air chair and doing what we will do best, which is me stop talking and all you out there in the radios to do talking. That's why we are at the Old Tube Radio Network. Classic radios from 1958 when the FCC banged the gavel and said, yes, there will be a Class D citizen radio service with all these rules that you will ignore. And to the 21st century where those radios are still around and we're using them, and we'll be doing that sort of like a car show where you drive the fins and the chrome around the block once a week to make sure they work. Old Tube Radio Network are listening for any and all radio check-ins.
135, and your signal is low.
Yes, because I failed to add the extra flavor. So let me grab my list. And we had a couple. So 135, don't go away, Cliff, because you're going to be next in line. Oh, wow, my printout list didn't put the lines in. Well, I'll put them in myself. And then there was somebody else. I think it was Sean. Was that you, 14 over?
Yeah, 14, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you just fine. So stand by. I think all your tests are looking good, and we will catch you after we pick up Cliff here. Over. With that said, let me make sure I've got everything on that's supposed to be on, and the wiggle meter's wiggling. Okay, I could boost that up a little bit, but I won't. We're looking good. All right, over to you, Cliff. Take a transmission. Tell us what you got over.
Okay, from Chicago, Illinois, this is the B&K Mark Cobra Cam 88. That's the Cobra Cam 88. Oh yeah, Citizens Band transceiver, in case there's any question about that. There are, 10 tubes, but all 23 crystal-controlled transmit and receive channels for your complete CB enjoyment experience. Back to you.
Back to me in the studio. I am hoping that the Rolodex works tonight. There were rumors that it would be going away and bad things would be happening, and right now It's telling me no. So let me do some other trickery here. All right, I guess we're going to have to do the trick mode here. I don't know why it does what it does, but there's a way that I can sort of manipulate around that, I hope, and put in the video so that we can all see it. So what I would do is that. It's about a 9-step process that should be... Okay, there we go. There's a couple of Cam 88s. I will pop them up, and then we'll go back to you for an explanation of what's going on. Over.
Okay, let's see. The microphone here is your standard gray bass amplified D104. The Dynaboost switch is on, so I've got double amplification going on, and the modulation light is blinking or modulating, and we are on channel 11. Let's see. Oh yes, there's no VFO and no RF gain. There's not even like a distance local switch or anything like that. We do have a PACB switch, which seems useful because this is a base mobile radio. I'm running it currently, of course, in the base configuration, but you could wire these up and use them in the car. Back to you.
I think all you have to do is change a cable so you can do the DC. I'm not sure if that had my Regency Imperial used to have a little vibrator, and so you turn it on and go brrr for a while. See we've got a close-up here. See the CBPA switch. And this is the bad picture where there it is. It's got the range boost. We got two back-to-back. Looks like somebody tried to do some cleaning on that. But there's the mod light, and then there's the switch below that. I noticed it does say Cam 88 B&K Mark. Not sure what that's all about. And then the big knobs. And, yeah, we got fine tune. Fine tune is always nice. But, like you said, it's missing some of the other ones. Over.
Yeah, so it's not a real VFO or anything. It's just like a Delta tune, the fine tune. And it does work. I zeroed you in as good as can be. It really does the job. Standard on-off volume and standby squelch. But yeah, B&K Mark, I believe, was the manufacturer. That's why I introduced it as the B&K Mark Cobra Cam 88. Because I think that's how it's listed. But how is it listed in your Rolodex?
It says B&K. I have to go to B&K, and then there's a list of their things. So it's just called the Cobra Cam 88. It doesn't have the mark, but when you get to the actual picture, you see the mark. And then I had trouble bringing it up. But we have, this is our standard. It's not your set. It's actually from, it doesn't say, but it's courtesy of somebody else coming in. The Cobra, and I'm listening. I've got the like 6K, 8K wide filter on the receive, and this radio always the Cobra Cam 88, whether it's from you, Dennis has got one, I think Harvey's got one, always has full fidelity audio. It's loud. I mean, a Browning Eagle is loud, but they roll off the bottom end of the spectrum. The Cobra Cam 88's got full audio. We don't do much trickery, so however it pipes out into the Universal Media Netweb is everybody's hearing what I'm hearing, and I'm listening to the headphones. So nice full audio. I think you said you're on D104. I don't know if it's amplified or not, but yeah, you're not even trying, and it's got full flavor. Over.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, it excuse me, it is an amplified D104. Standard gray bass. I think it's the TUG8. I ought to try some other microphones on this, see if we can get more woof out of it. If I remember correctly, it's kind of trebly, but it's been a while since I checked it in, so I might be wrong. Back to you.
It is not, well, if it's treble, it has the right treble. It's not shrill, and it's got a good mix. It's got a good mix between low and high. It doesn't sound pinched, so it's a good audio. So anybody's in the hi-fi, I don't know what they call it, but on the transistor radios. But if you're looking for a hi-fi radio set, or if you've got an audio board, or the URQ, or the iBox, Julia says this radio would be a good one to start out with a studio microphone and something like that, because it will handle if you put in some high and low frequencies and equalize, it'll handle all that. It doesn't roll things off. Looks like it, whatever you put into it, it will get. So with the D104, you're probably limited on the low frequencies, but the high frequencies are set up just as well. All 23 channels. This was, I think, their top of the line set back in the late 80s. I'm seeing if it's got any other info. No, when I do this, it won't give me the other info that's supposed to go with it. S-meter, so probably in the mid $200 range back in the day, and still sounding good now. Over.
Yeah, you got a sticky key?
I've got a dual foot switch, and if I hit the wrong one, it will not unkey the radio.
Oh, man. That's a heck of a setup you got going on over there, that's for sure. I can't wait to hear the other Dennis's version of this. You mentioned he's got one. I think he's got a couple of them, and they he has the audio board and all the stuff you're talking about, and he can really make this thing sound like a broadcast quality kind of radio. It's rugged, reasonably well built, and couldn't be simpler to operate. I think it would be a good starter tube radio, I think, for anybody if you want to keep it simple and have something that's good and rugged. I like them better than the Johnsons, but things don't get much simpler than the Johnsons. Okay, thanks for letting me check it in. We'll pass it over to Sean and catch you next week, I guess, right?
We should be here. No, sounding good. I just put up the S-meter and the Orban meter, and it's blocking everything out really nice. Sounds good. Thanks for bringing it by. If you can find these, that'd be another. If you're looking for a first radio, but you want something big and you don't have the cash or the space for a Johnson or a Browning or a Demco or a Tram or something, this would be a nice radio to get. And especially if you're into audio, it will play well, even with just the standard microphone in. But if you want to boost it up a little bit, it should do well. It's the Cobra B&K, Cobra Cam 88. Well, actually, they call it Cam 88 B&K Mark is how they have it on the front of the radio, but it's all good. Before I unkey, we go to Sean. I want to say hello. Who just jumped in on the board here? Hello to Boston Jim, Boston 97. We will get you. Let me go with that. We'll get you checked in 97, and anybody you can pop in anytime to get checked in. As we always say, you don't have to be on any official list or have a number. Don't even have to have radio. We'd like to say hello and see what you're doing and things of that nature. The Jingle Singers are going to stand by because we want to go to Sangertown, SWL 14. Hello, Sean. I bet you can hear me. I can hear you. Over.
Yeah, I can hear you well tonight. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm having a little issue here with this. I think it's a crystal socket or something going on here. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I'm gonna check and see if you're on what frequency you're on, if it's just that. But take a transmission. We'll find you. Go ahead.
Okay, hopefully it's working here a little better. Here you go. I'm on my Metrotech Pacer. I don't know what the heck's going on with it tonight, but hopefully it's transmitting now. It's Metrotech Pacer with the stock microphone. Still has the little sticker, so it doesn't work very well. I will add that. And pretty nice radio in decent condition. Back to you.
Sounds okay. It occasionally, the audio sounds like it might be off frequency, but I just checked and it is not. It's pretty much center frequency. Don't think it's FMing, but it's transmitting. You're on frequency. Harvey, if the DX and Internet Gods are working, is listening in as well. I'm going to try and, let's see, get the picture of the Pacer. For some reason, it's I don't know why it's showing up so small. There we go. Metrotech, it's got that M. Looks like you've got an S meter, and hopefully you've tuned me in on the tuner knob. Over.
Yeah, it has a decent receive, but it has a crummy microphone, no modulation hardly. And
I was just popping through. I put you on the super wide, like 15K filter, and you actually sound better. So it might be doing a little bit of IMD on the AM. When I widen it out, it picks it up okay, and you're showing up on the S meter. Let me see if we've got info on the MetroTech. Nope. Sometimes it will give a price, or if we've got extra at oldtuberadio.com, sometimes we have schematics and items. Tell me about the microphone. This looks like it's a hardwired mic, so has it been modified with a different microphone or a jack over?
No, it's all original. It's the original microphone, and it has a very strange field of press there. So it's, like I said, it's kind of an oddball deal there. I just turned up the modulator. Maybe that helps a little bit. But yeah, it's a real bare bones, basic talk to your neighbor type radio, I believe.
Indeed. No, whatever you did, you need to turn it back down because that's adding some oscillation. So that could be possible if you've got the modulator going. There's some impedance mismatch, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's fighting trying to do something. So if it's an impedance issue or something's not quite there on the audio, so you can go ahead and whatever you turned up, turn it back down, because that just added some extra noise over.
Okay, yeah, no, it does something weird. It chatters inside the amplification, so I don't know what the heck, but that's enough time for this one.
All right, not a problem. Sometimes radios will, the Hallicrafters, the CB3A was notorious for that. It would go into about 95% modulation, and then it would just flat top. You couldn't get any more out of that. The radio wouldn't handle it. So it sounds like this might be something similar, where it's just kind of set up to do a nice 75%, 85% modulation. If you try to run it anymore, it just doesn't know what to do with it. But it is doing okay tonight here on the Old Tube Radio Network from MetroTech. They were a good radio. If you were on a budget, typically MetroTechs were good. You got a lot of features. Usually got an S meter, and like you said, they built the receivers pretty decent. And there it was. Maybe not a Browning, right? Maybe not a Johnson or a Cobra, but still nice. I think they did a good job of designing the radio. Let me see if I go to the close-up here. There we go. And making it look like something you'd want to put in the shack. Thanks for bringing it by, and you are radio number 2 tonight. And now the Jingle Singers are ready to go to tell you about the latest news and everything else that happens here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
And the noise is coming up tonight. I was going to see if we have any of the questions. I'll get those fired up. We might not do them right at this moment, but if they are around, we'll get them in the queue. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, and we're listening for your radio check-ins. All right, here we go. Questions and answers. And Rosie, I agree. The MetroTechs were the early 60s radios that didn't have all 23 channels. And I was trying to save money because those crystals were expensive. A set would cost you $5. So if you got the radio for $129 and you had to add 23 crystals in there, you'd be up for another $100 on the radio. So they gave you the variable tuner on the receive, which was legal, but you still had to be crystal controlled on the transmitter. Otherwise, they could have done what they did with ham radio and give you a VFO, but that wasn't the case. Anyway, I hope you're having a great Sunday afternoon out there. Question. We got a question from, thanks to Tony, does the Friday night and Friday morning net. On what band did the Utica, UTICA 650 operate? Well, we know the Utica 27 operated on the 27 megahertz band, which was CB. So the 650 may be a clip. What band did the Utica 650 radio operate? And the choices are 2 meters, 6 meters, 10 meters, and 20 meters. So what think you? Over. Someone mentioning the obvious. The 6 meters, that's correct. The Utica 650. The Utica 27 was their Class D 11-meter radio. Vintage 6-meter AM and CW transceiver. Back in the day when you had AM and the AM nets, even 2 meters was like that. The sideband FM wasn't built in just yet, even though I think the mode was okay. Question number 2. In the USA, the method of transmitting digital FM commercial radio and analog broadcast signals simultaneously on the same frequency is called what? So in the USA, method of transmitting digital FM commercial radio. See, the digital is the keyword there. And analog broadcast signals simultaneously on the same frequencies is called what? And that's something new, and it's actually kind of controversial. So it's the IBOC, in-band on-channel, AM is what it should be. Technology is marketed in the U.S. as HD radio. So the HD AM radio, obviously you can get it on your HD radio if you have one. You can get it on your AM radio. But sometimes, especially if you're SWLing, if you're DXing, and you get next to one of those digital broadcast stations, there's a lot of hash. There's a lot of extra noise on the adjacent sidebands, on the adjacent frequencies. So there's some, I wouldn't call it fisticuffs for the stations that do that. And some people don't like that because it actually is a little bit noisier on the band, but that's the way they kind of, we call it multiplexing, but that's not the right word, I think, where they put the commercial HD and analog all the same thing. And it is owned by somebody. I can't remember who did the invention of the IBOC. So a lot of people like it and a lot of people hate it. All right, the Old Tube Radio Network, we are listening and checking in the radios.
60.
Hey, Joe, 60 and 14, were you in there as well? Over?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe is going to be number 3 next, and we'll pick you up in Sanger with radio number 4, and I can hear you just fine. So, Joe, take a transmission. You're radio 3, over.
Thank you, Dennis. I'd like to check in my Robin 123B, 11 tubes, all 23 channels, plus a few extras.
It's the extras you like, especially when they kind of show up on the radio and you don't have to pay for them, and they're actually stuff you want. Sometimes there are extras that may not be that great. Let's see if the Rolodex will bring up the 123B. Hey, look at that. It looks like it's good. Let's see which ones we got. I'm gonna pull up the radio in the box. Sometimes the containers go for more than the radios do on eBay. Take a transmission and we'll show people what it looked like when it showed up in your door in 1972. Over.
Oh boy, that would have been something. Most definitely would have been something that at that time it would have even caught my eye there for sure. Dennis, we have 23 channels on this one, and like I said, a few extras. Listing from channel 1 to channel 8. Starting with channel 26, if I flip a switch, I can get 26, 27, 29, and 30. Channel 531, and then so on, 32, 34, and 35. Just by the flip of a switch there. And doggone it, a lot of of features, a lot to do on this radio. In fact, my biggest job is keeping it cool because it's such a hot radio.
Hot virtually, literally, in many ways. It was hot radio back in the 70s because a lot of people bought these. It was the top-of-the-line layout for the Panasonic No. 2 chassis. It was plate modulated, so it always sounded good. And there was some trickery you could do, I think, with the synthesized crystals. I don't think it had a chip in it, but you could do some type of multiplication thing they're doing with the switches, where you could get those yet to be designated extra channels above 23. And this is before the FCC said it was okay, but everybody was already up there. Also, nicely designed, the pretty green, having the knob insert colors, and then the extra, external speaker in the PA. The range expands, so you didn't have to buy an amplified microphone if you didn't want to. And I think there were some other extras, like it's got a standby or it's got a tone control. It's got some stuff. Anyway, it sounds good, and I hope as an operator, as the driver of it, it's a fun radio to have. Over.
Oh boy, I'm telling you, Dennis. Yeah, it does have a standby. You can, in fact, this is the one radio that I plug in automatically because when it's ready to be used, all you got to do is turn the old volume switch. It has a pull knob for the squelch, and you have your fine tune and your RF gain, which is nice. There are a few features in the back too. Radio is definitely used up in the front as far as space goes. Speaker, they could have done something else with the speaker, a different area maybe, but it filled the rest of the radio. And we are on a preamplified D104.
Oh, so this is my question. You are on an amplified microphone, and do you have the range boost on as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I bet probably then either the range boost is adjusted minimal on the radio, or you have that microphone turned way down, because it doesn't sound overmodulated, which it could get mushy if you have too much amplification on that, but it sounds good. Who is it? HP saying that the Courier Royales ran hot as well. You know what? We used to check in a lot of Courier Royales. I mean, there were stations that had 2 and 3 of them. They were often the most heard radio, and it's been quite a long time since we had a Courier Royale, so we'll have to live vicariously for the hot radio on the Robin T123B. All these, I don't think any radios came with a fan. You know, the Yaesu FT101 had a fan in the back, but it was running sweep tubes, and it wasn't a 5-watt DC input radio. But the 5-watt DC input radios were all convection cooling, meaning you put a vent in it and hope air runs through it naturally. So it sounds good. We're putting it down for Radio 3. We'll go back to you for another transmission, but thanks for bringing it by.
Well, thanks for having me on this one there, Dennis. Sure appreciate it. And yeah, we got another one warmed up. And let old Sean go so we can get our other one connected. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks for bringing by the Robin T123 and had some good photos of that. Somebody just showed up that hasn't been around for a long time. So thanks for joining us. Smarty Jones. Haven't been on the two-way here for the Old Tube Radio in a long time. Good to see you on a Saturday evening. Actually, it's probably Sunday morning for you guys out there. So you're staying up late with the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go over to, who's next? They always tell me. They hand me the paper. Oh, I wrote it down. Out to Sangertown. I hope you can hear me. The skip has gone away, so the band is nice and quiet. Hello, Sean.
Oh, excellent. I hope that you can hear me. It's Metrotech night, Joe. Hint, hint, if you can hear me. Harvey's out of town, but maybe we can do this. Tonight I'm on my Metrotech Mustang. Hopefully it's making a decent trip back to you.
It is doing the trick. In fact, we were featuring, courtesy of Robert, had a really great picture that I missed, and I looked at it, it's like, oh my gosh, and I needed it a couple of weeks ago, but it's the Mustang 2. Let me go to the Metro Tech Rolodex, because I think you are just on the straight Mustang, but if you're on the 2, I should have a picture. I can dial back up, bringing up the Mustang. There it is. Oh yeah, this is the one with the lighting, the weird lighting on it. So go back to you for transmission.
Yeah, this is the original Mustang, and I bought it because I was a Mustang fan. And when my dad saw it, he's a musician, and he said, oh, that's the Mustang guitar. Even the paint matches the Mustang guitar. So who knows, but it is a nice color of blue. Right about that era, I think, 64, somewhere around there. But it does have the original microphone sticker. I don't think the radio is used much at all. The port is super tiny. Pull it over to the house. It's like a step up. I believe it's very original. Probably because of its poor performance.
Indeed. Well, it's good sailing. Yeah, you've got to really stay on that. Stay up on that microphone on the Mustang. So I don't know. Sometimes if the radio's fading, we'll find out if it's a tube, is it warming up or cooling down. But next transmission, stay right in that microphone. I want to see if the audio stays at the same level. The channel selector, the tuning control, very similar, I guess, to the Pacer. The Mustang, I think, even though it has 8 channels, I think it was a step up. I'm going to have to see if I can find one of their ads, and Metro Tech ad, because a lot of times they would have the base model, and then you'd step up to something else and step up to something else. Courier was like that, where the Royale was the top of the line, and you would back off from that. So you wouldn't get in the $200 range. Looks good, sounds good. See if you can make that modulation light blink and take another transmission. Over.
Okay, now I'm eating the microphone, as Barbie would say. Yeah, this is the base for sure. There's no meter on it. The Pacer, it has a meter and a spot switch. This, I do believe this has a spot switch. And, real basic radio. But I do like the name of it. And I just figured I'd get it out for Metro Tech night over here at the Doyle House.
Indeed, yeah, that helped. The audio stayed the same, didn't fade away. So it's not the radio, it's just you got to get on that microphone. Yeah, I forgot the other one had the meter. So this would be the base radio, the Mustang, step up to the Pacer, and then they probably had the tube where they made things go in and change the tube or take something out. All right, working well. I'm considering you are not down the street by any means. The band, I'm getting a little bit of static from noise around the neighborhood, but the band is cooperating with Skip tonight. Don't hear Oregon, Washington, Idaho. We'll see what happens if they come in before we sign off tonight. So take one more transmission, and thanks for bringing it by Radio 4, the Metro Tech Mustang. Over.
Yeah, I'm glad I could get the Metro Techs out, get them on the air tonight. And I'll just have to remember, I got to eat the microphone on all of them. So thanks for the time for the Metro Tech Mustang.
All right, sounding good. The old tube radio network. Let's see. I was going to ask a question. I wanted to make sure that we don't have anybody. Oh, you know what? There's an Echolink link. Let me see. Richard, are you listening? Let me see if we can take a transmission. I'm going to go back to, and take a break here, go back to the control room, if I can. And if you're listening, Richard, we'll see if we can't get an Echolink link here. KA6JMM, if you're on, we'll take a short transmission here. KB6GFD on the Echolink. All right, he's probably not listening. Foxman is there. Let me go up to the SDR. And Foxman, if you're listening, I had it on my page here. It timed out. Let me see if I can get it to come back in. I'm going to go to 2705. I'm going to be on channel 11. So we can get some audio to come out of that. On the SDR, I'm going to bring the volume up. Oh, okay, we got sound. The band looks pretty quiet. So if you're there, go ahead and I'll leave the volume. Go ahead and take a transmission on channel 11. If you're on 11, I'm listening on 085. You can do it AM, sideband, anything. Just see if we can move the meter. The antenna they're using, is a 50-foot mystery antenna. So that doesn't speak well already. It could be horizontally polarized, which would make things tough. But anyway, listening, the sound you hear in the background, in fact, it's probably more than I need. Let me turn it down here. All right, now you can probably hear me. There we go. Oh, it's being overmodulated. I was being overmodulated by the sound. We're listening to an SDR that's up in Knoxville, Tennessee, and see if it's close enough, right polarity, to see if Foxman's close enough on that. I don't think it's going to work. It's not it looks like they don't have a very good antenna. It doesn't say what polarity they are. There's one other one, and I'll keep the transmission here quick, and then we'll pick up a radio or two. I've got a lot of noise here tonight. Here's the number 2. And the antenna on that one, that is not going to work. It says it's a probe on something else. So looks like we don't have anybody with a decent antenna. The noise level is just like it's not picking up any signals. So let me turn the audio down on that one. So I don't know. Why would you put up an SDR if you don't have it? It's probably more for testing. It goes in the system. All right. I think we're striking out on that, but it was worth a try. And Keith, if you're listening, we'll take a Echo link here. So do a quick transmission. KW4SR from KB6GFD. I see on the link. Go ahead. And Keith is on the Echo link from West Virginia, I think. So I want to see if he's listening. We may strike out here all the way around. Get Keith on the Echo link. Anyway, we're listening the Old Tube Radio Network for radio check-ins and what have you.
Hello, Dennis. Can you hear me?
All right, we got you. I got to unkey the microphone, but Keith is there. All right, yeah, I've got your audio sounding good. Take a transmission and see what happening out your way. KW4SR, KB6GFD, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, KW4SR here. Yeah, things are good on this end. Having some fall temperatures early this year here in Virginia, so we're enjoying that. I tuned in late this evening, but I thought I would try to see if I could get through on Echo Link, and everything's sounding good.
Indeed, you've got great audio on the Echo Link, good fidelity and good volume. Yeah, I think there's a whole little cooling wave going across the U.S. Ours is starting late this weekend. This in fact is starting tomorrow through the week. We're going to be dropping probably 15 degrees Still going to be the 80s, so it's going to feel like a nice summer. And it's not quite fall yet on the California coast or near it here. So anyways, you're looking good. Thanks for joining us, and maybe conditions permit, we'll catch you on the airwaves on some other frequency. But thanks for joining us tonight. Over.
Yeah, thanks for letting me check in this evening, and I hope you have a great evening, and hello to everyone out there. So 73s. Catch you guys next week.
All right, 73, KB6GFD, back to the net. And then the jingle singers said,
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Was that the infamous 60 over?
60, yes, Dennis. Doggone it, we had the other radio on there. I'm Dennis on my Mustang 2. I got a few questions for you. I heard you talking with someone else. This is the Mustang 2 Metrotech. Is there a difference between the one you were talking to the other fella?
We are going to find out. I got to do a little trickery here. All right, I found the picture. I have to do some copy and paste to get it into the link here. But Robert, listening in here locally, has one of these. He says, I think it's got a transmit issue, but the receive is good. I can't remember, and so I'm going to bring it up. There's the shot. Let's go, the extreme shot. All right, let me go to the full page shot. Yeah, okay, that'll work. And there it is. All right, we're looking at it. I'm going to explain, then we'll go back to you. Actually, I'll go back to you right now. The microphone is still wired into the front, right?
Yeah, this one is wired into the front, and I imagine it's the original microphone.
So you were on the original microphone. The radio we're showing here is, I'm going to say, a brown or a cream color, and the microphone is sort of a ivory color.
Yeah, and sort of like a gold tone mash inside the microphone. I was noticing that right now. There's like a gold tone in there, but the radio's cream and the microphone would be ivory white.
Okay, and who was it that said salmon or pink? I actually like that description better. Some of the 1950s cars used that color with white, and they used to call it a salmon color. Okay, your audio is excellent, nice and loud, and I was thinking you might have had a microphonium wired in that was amplified. So you are just using the stock microphone, right?
This is the stock microphone on it. This is the way it came from. Doggone it, I haven't had anything done to it. I want Harvey to kind of check it out one of these days. Now, doggone it, it appears to me that it has 7 tubes. Looks a lot like the World Radio Lab radio. It is a Metrotech. It's a Mustang 2, and there are similarities. Although, no, the volume squelch and all that lays out in a horizontal position. On the Metro, they're boxed.
All right, the Mustang 2, and this reminds me of the Pacer. It's got the S meter. The configuration is the same. There's a switch in the front. I guess that's the spot. I have to zoom in on that, and I see it has a crystal jack in the front. So there's an EXT. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got an external position for your transmit, which I don't recall. I'll have to look at the Pacer again. I don't think that had that. And then what is the switch off on? There's a switch underneath the red modulation light, over.
That's the spotter. That's the on and off switch there. That's the spotter switch.
All right. The spotter switch, good, because you need that. Spot the 2. And then crystal and tune. So there's a switch for crystal and tune. This is interesting. Because typically you're already in crystal on the EXT. So I wonder why they would have a switch to crystal. So maybe when you went to the EXT, they would use the same crystal where you would have the plug-in crystal, EXT transmit, and then if you wanted to use it on the receiver, you would switch up to crystal. I'm not seeing how that would work because you've got the variable tuner, but maybe, and a lot of times the reason they would do that is, let's say channel 11 is your call channel, or channel 11 is your Saturday night channel, and you hang out on 23, so you're on channel 2 on the transmitter, and you've got the dial over on 23, and you're spotting and all that. So you want to go and check out OTR, you could just flip to the EXT and flip that other button up to crystal, and that would take both the transmit and receive right on that one channel. You wouldn't have to move your receive dial or do any spotting. I'm thinking that's what's going on there. Over.
Well, it could be. It could be. I most definitely would have to look into it, research it, because it does have that extra crystal slot, and there is a paper stuck on the front of it like a price tag. But it's channels 9, 11, 14, and I think 23.
9, 11, 14, and 23. 14 was always a popular channel. There's a lot of the low-power radios at the time used 14. 9 was a popular channel because of the emergency react. 11, I'm surprised. 11 was always a popular channel, and then you'd throw in something, if it was 19 or 17 or 23 or whatever. So you've got the good stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's interesting radio, and I do like that gold tone in the microphone. Inside the microphone, you can see it on the grill. That's kind of interesting. Brass, like a brassy color. That's kind of interesting. Okay, well, doggone it, I appreciate it. Yeah, if you've got a minute, we've got another one.
I've got a minute. That's why I'm here. The Metrotech Mustang 2. Nice. It's a really nice shot, courtesy of Robert. And he's working on that. So we might have, when we get all our antennas set up and able to hear each other, we might have another one dialing in. You might be able to give the Brownings a run for their money with the Metrotechs here in the Central Valley. Very good audio. For the stock microphone amp. So that gives me hope that whatever improvements or tube replacements or jiggling that needs to be done on the Metrotechs that Sean has should be able to sound as good as that one does. I mean, really, really nice audio, so not a problem.
Well, thank you. That's definitely something I really wanted to hear, because we fool around a lot with power mics and so forth, and of course we'd have to dig into this one and put a jack in the front and install another microphone. I'll leave it at this. I'll leave it the way it is. It's just the microphone is hooked up just left of the channel selector, so I'll leave it the way it is. It seems to be in good shape, nice color, and nothing's broken on it, so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's not flat topping. It sounds good. I wouldn't modify it at all. Come back with a transmission. I'm on the narrower filter. While you're talking, I'm gonna change the filter, see if it sounds any different here on my receiver.
Okay, well, I've always wondered about the narrow filter, the wide and the high and the lows. I've got a radio down here that does a little bit of something to it. In that form, but yeah, this is a 10 count, 1, 5, 10,
11, 90, 100. Good. I put the wide filter on, and it sounds better. It's got good high-end frequency, not tearing at all. So I can run you on the super wide filter. And yeah, that's what I like about the older crystal controlled radios. The early ones, they didn't put the modulation limiters in. They didn't do a lot of clipping circuits. So they kind of relied on you to just talk on the microphone. They wouldn't have an amplified microphone, do the proper distance, and the radio would take care of itself. And that one is doing just that. So nice stuff. Thanks for working it by.
Thanks a whole lot there, Dennis, and I hope, Kenny, out there in Oklahoma, you are listening to this radio. It will always be in my collection here. Thanks a lot, Kenny. Okay, we're gone.
All right, good. No, that's a good keeper, and we've got a nice shot, and there's actually another one here in the Central Valley as well. So, I was going to try and see if I could answer a question. Oh, yeah, Foxman, thanks for trying. You know what? Those two SDRs are antenna challenged. One of them, it says it's using some type of a probe out of a scope, so it's probably not even an outdoor antenna. The other one's some type of mystery 50-foot wire or something, so it could be horizontal. But they were close by, so I thought it would be worth a try. And we'll keep an ear out and an eye out if there's anything. Because, I mean, you've got a decent station, so no problem. If there's a good receiver nearby, they'd be able to pick you up. The Old Tube Radio Network, jingles. Oh, I think I heard 14. Hello, Sean, over.
Yeah, hello, Dennis. I needed to get some redemption after my Metrotech debacle, but thanks to Joe for checking his in. I've always hoped to get them in the most heard manufacturer slot. Hopefully this DAC is making a much better trip, and this one is the 9, the one that doesn't have sideband, and it's on an amplified D104 hand mic.
Sounds good, nice audio. Signal is maybe a little bit bigger than the other Metrotechs, but the audio is helping out a little bit. Let me see if I've got a DAC IX, a DAC 9 radio to pull out of the Rolodex. I do see it. We'll bring it up. There it is, the glorious give me the rack handles and all the meters and knobs you got. Tram and Browning be damned. Here we go.
Yeah, that's for sure. This one's got all kinds of meters, and it does have the blue covers over the lights, so it's got the blue light special. Pretty decent radio. Seems to work every time I go to pull it out and key it up. And the DACs, a lot of people either love or hate. It does have 2 tubes in it, and that's why I'm checking it in tonight.
Well, now, remember, we've been doing this 40 years almost. And when we started, so that'd be 86, 87, this radio was probably not even 10 years old. And the committee at the time got together, and there was a couple of hybrid radios. And the committee said, if it's a hybrid radio, we won't officially check it in on the list because it's all in one box. So, and it's not like 70% tubes. It's got tubes, but it's got a solid state receiver. But if it was a solid state receiver only and a tube transmitter, then we could check in the tube transmitter. But 40 years later, we've sort of changed the rules on the hybrid radios, mainly because they're now really old. And yes, we are hearing the transmitter section that sounds like a tube, but we have to overlook the fact that the box has a lot of transistors in it, and in theory, it is not 100% tubes or 50% tubes. But it's a classic. It has turned into a classic nonetheless, and we're glad that people still have them around. And it's nice to share for those, especially those newer. I mean, somebody coming in to the CB radio world, listening to the net here, wanting to know what happened 40 or 50 years ago. This is part of it. This radio was also featured in the Sharper image catalog. So this was sort of the top of the line. I guess if you lived in Beverly Hills, you would have one of these radios. Over.
Yeah, it is a sharp-looking radio. It has nice big rack handles, and I would tell you it has a bundle of screws. You need a can to collect all these. I bet there's got to be 35 or 40 screws to take the case off of one of these DACs.
Sometimes they do that in high RF environments. Some of my Orban Optimod equipment has the same way, and that is for grounding, to make sure everything is nice and grounded. So possibly they did that. S9 radio, Greg does, I think, a video or a feature on the DAC 9, the DAC 10, much maligned. A lot of people didn't like the radio. They said, it's just a small little mobile in a big case. But he goes on and talks about some of the things they did and the circuitry, and so he praises these radios a lot. We didn't get much of that, but if you ever have a chance to check out S9 Radio and search for DAC, he will give you the scoop on why he likes the radio and some of the cool stuff, just besides the way it looks, but stuff on the inside as well. Rob saying, yeah, it looks like pro audio gear, and I think that is exactly, since these came out 77, 78, what they were doing. And we noticed the trend in the early 70s when they started making the radios with the blackout dials that looked like the stereos and the wood grain side cases, because they realized it was getting popular. And if you were to buy a radio and you wanted to convince the XYL that we really could bring it out of the garage, they started making them look like furniture. So you would bring it into the living room and it wouldn't look bad. Now, this one's a little industrial, but I think Rob pinned it right there. It definitely looks like the Kenwood and Sherwood and Pioneer stereos of the day. Over.
Can you hear me now? Maybe I doubled with you, but I'm having difficulty hearing you.
Okay, I hear you just fine. Over.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you've got your pedal on there, but yeah, Greg had some great videos there, and yeah, definitely a hot rod radio on the output side with the tubes, and yeah, nice radio, lots of good goodies to go with it, like I said, with all the knobs and switches, and a fine noise breaker, because it's hard to hear you unless I turn it off.
All right, you should hear me now. Problem was on, as it always is. The problem was on my end. All right, well, we have some focus groups on here tonight, and Rosie, I agree. Rosie says it looks good, but it doesn't have the same feel as the pastel colors from the previous decades. And indeed, this is a very industrial-looking, more techno. It matches the stereo gear, and the other radios. The Metrotech and things like that, where they were putting the colors on them, and they were trying to get these radios in the house, and it wasn't something for your shop table, it was something to put out next to the black and white or the new color console TV. So when on a Sunday evening when you were done watching Ed Sullivan, or on a Saturday night when you were done with Jackie Gleason or Bonanza, you would go to the CB radio and turn it on. It would be right there, and that would be your little social media time at 9 o'clock or 9:30 and talking to the locals on whatever channel you were at. So that's sort of the method here. This is definitely geared this is definitely geared to the testosterone group, saying give me knobs and give me meters. All right, I hope you can hear me now. Over.
Yeah, I can hear you fine now. But yeah, it does have a great A&L and noise blanker. Yeah, it's real industrial. It doesn't look as good on a wooden table as it would a metal rack, I would say. But still working good, and I appreciate the time for the DAC Mark 9 tonight.
And one more question. You say if you would actually look inside, there is one or two tubes. Over?
There are two tubes in the DAC.
All right, so you probably have a driver, low power, and then whatever your final PA tube. So typical, but all the rest of it, it's solid state, and it was hybrid. This is back when the hybrids were coming out, even in amateur radio. Kenwood with was it 520s, the 820s, 830s. Yaesu with the FT101 series, the 901 series, the 102 series, where you had solid state receiver, probably didn't drift as much, easier to do, but the transmitter. Driving those sweep tubes, the 6146s or whatever the tubes in this, probably giving you a nicer sound and a nice marriage. But for an old tube radio network back in the day, it's like, well, it's not 75% tubes. But here in 2025, classic radios, we're glad you have it, and thanks for bringing it by.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. I appreciate the time. And thanks to Greg for those interesting videos he puts out.
Indeed. All right, going to do some counting and amounting. Maybe room for another radio before we sign out. It's getting late wherever you are, or it's actually getting not so late if you're in a different time zone. But thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. and 60. Hang on one moment. Was there another station over? Oh man, I hear the Browning. I hear it keying up, but my static level is coming up. Try it again. Yeah, my that buzzing noise. Anybody hear the station there better than I can? Over. I don't know. Was that Robert? Okay, I hear what sounds like the Browning. I have that static tonight, which I don't normally have, and it is fighting with your audio. So I can tell when the radio key's up, but I'm not getting the modulation. Not because you're not doing it right, it's just being blanked out by my static. Over. All right, well let me know more. And we'll see if we can do better, but it's nice to know that we're making the trip at least somewhere. I think if I had somebody north of town, they'd probably be able to picking you up. All right. With that said, let's go to Joe. Joe, I think you'll be our final radio of the evening here. Over.
Well, Dennis, we appreciate that. I just drug in this one here, my boat anchor. We're set up. This is the Johnson, Dennis, the T-00, the Messenger T-00 from Johnson.
Working good. I don't know if I've asked you this before. When you get a lot of radios in the collection like you have, what is the way to change coax? You're actually physically going behind the radio, or do you have a nice little 4-position or 2-position switch? How do you do it without going crazy? Over.
Yeah, it drove me crazy for a while. No, I've got double switch boxes now. I've got one for the upper section and one for the lower section.
A good way to do it. In the early days, we actually had stations, and I kid you not, that had 20, 30, dare I say 40 radios, and some of them actually had a system like a telephone operator back in the day where they had a plug for the microphone. So they put in one microphone, and then they'd wire the plugs from the radio to this panel, and then they were able to plug in to each panel jack that would go to the radio to change microphones, and then do some type of a similar switch on the antennas. It was pretty crazy, but it worked quite well. So I know when you get more than one radio, at least we're on long enough that you can change things. Over.
Yeah, and I seen a setup one day. I couldn't believe it. It had to be 50 radios, and they were all hooked up. This guy had several layers on this wall, and every one of them was hooked up. He could turn on which one you wanted. If you wanted to hear a Uniden, a 2000, several 2000s, Cobras, anyone that you desired to hear, he turned the switch on, and it was working. I don't know how he had all that hooked up. You know, that it amazes me. It wasn't plugging and unplugging and so forth. You know, he had power plus radios, and I don't know how he had it all hooked up. Anyway, Dennis, this will be the last radio for me tonight. Like I said, this is my Johnson Messenger T-00, my boat anchor, I call it. I drug it up here. Anyway, 10 tubes. I guess about 10 channels.
Give or take a errant crystal or two. I think these were. They had a mic jack on the side. What radio? Take two. What microphone are you using? What's the microphone you're using with that? That was close.
getting on down.
Uh-oh. Was that Mr. Nobody waving?
Oh, yeah, I'm waving. I'm just sitting there reading the mail. Hey, definitely sounding good there. As he keeps flopping in and flopping back out, but I just want to jump in there and wave a hand one time right quick.
Yeah, I saw you on the chat window, and I thought, well, we don't have conditions tonight. And all of a sudden, I'm wearing the headphones, and I've got the receiver on full wide, and all of a sudden, there was audio happening.
Hey, 410 Roger. Yeah, she keeps coming in and she keeps going out. So, hey, good show. Keep going. Just keep going.
All right, yeah, weird QSB tonight. All right, well, I'll clear frequency, and maybe the band will open up. People want to take a turn and do some DX. We'll have that coming up. So OTR is counting and amounting. All right, before Skip does its wild, wacky thing, the jingle singers will do theirs. We'll beat them to the punch here tonight.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Yeah, that buzzing tonight. It's back. I don't know what causes that. I tracked down some LED lights around the house and I turn them off when I'm running the net, so I'm not sure what does on that. So let's do the counting and amounting. I want to clear frequencies. And I hear Harvey, so we'll do this. And then we'll jump in with Harvey here. Maybe you
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current
It's hard to do
OTR total.
a long distance two-way item on here. And Harvey, I hear you. We're gonna be doing the counting and amounting. You might be listening in, so I'll unkey. So if you need to make a comment while I'm talking, you can. I know it's going to be incredibly difficult because you have to have either one or the other. So anyway, I'm going back to the receive side. So if you want to say something, go ahead and we'll listen to you while we're counting and amounting here. The Old Tube Radio Network, the new 8-week roster, our 00.
Here we go.
Is SWL
6 OTR
19.
Okay, I was listening to the whole show.
All right.
Although I did fall asleep and woke back up.
Harvey on the Echo
good
Link.
show. Everybody's radio sounded good. And hopefully, I'll be back next week. It'll be close. We'll see. If not, I could probably do it this way again. So take care. KV6GFD, W6 OTR will be out.
All right, we got some good radios tonight, and I do believe our most heard manufacturer is going to be a new one for the record books here, thanks to the Metrotech guys. All right, 73 to you. Have fun. Just take it easy and take it slow. That is a great trip to go on. And I'm hoping the weather is good. You're not going to get in too much rain. It's getting cold, so it's probably going to be chilly. It's going to be cold here in Fresno when you get back. It's going to be really, really nice. So you'll enjoy the 80-degree weather because it's probably going to be 65 or something where you're at. So 73 to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad that this all worked out. KB6GFD. Okay, let me get back.
Okay.
To where we got
W6OTR. And what was I going to say? I was going to say something else, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
Just had it on tip of my tongue.
Harvey's going to take an old buzzer transmission even on the Echo
We'll
Link.
talk to you later. W6OTR.
73, have a good night. Let's get out of here. We had 17 check-ins on page 1, 12 check-ins on page 2. If you are playing the home game, make sure you add Rob, Mr. Rob, out of Texas on SWL 32. We'll find out. I can't remember. 404 not found. I still think that's a better handle. That's a better number. We didn't have that one. 18 check-ins on page 3 and 16 on page 4 for a total of 63 is what I get. And the most heard manufacturer, it appears, it's the Metrotech guys. We did start out with the B&K Cobra Cam 88. Cliff on that. Really nice audio from Standard Microphoniums. If you are an audio guru, hi-fi radio, there's the one you might want to try out because it will pass the lows and the highs and everything in between. The Metrotech Pacer, thanks to Sean in Sanger, good audio when it was there and a nice signal all around. The Robin T123B from Joe. We'd have to have a little bit of plate modulation going on tonight. Sean on the Metrotech Mustang. Not the 2, but the Mustang. So that's number 2 Metrotech. And then the Mustang 2 from Joe was Radio 5. Sort of an, I guess, an update with the meter and the external crystal socket and some really nice audio out of the standard plug-in microphone. Not a bad thing at all. Let's go to probably one of the very last tube CB radios produced in 1977, 78, maybe even 79. High-end, someone pegged it, trying to look like the stereo gear of the day, even showed up in the Sharper Image catalog. That's the DAC 9 with the hybrid tube transmitter and the solid-state receiver. And then just moments ago, Joe, on the classic standard of the 1960s from E.F. Johnson, the Messenger TWO. Always sounding good. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, staying up late, getting up early, or whatever you might do to jump in on the old Tube Radio Network. Hopefully you can do something like this where you're at. Just get on the air tonight and hope to catch some of you on the other frequencies and bands when conditions permit. Should be nice. The old Tube Radio Network, 73. Yeah, between the delay on the Echolink and the delay on YouTube, probably enough to drive you nuts. And I think I called you in a lull. That's what I say.
Oh, it's working, but the clock just burned out on it. My Cobra 2000, I'm heartbroken. I love that clock.
Oh, no. I'm not familiar with the 2000. Is it an LED clock? It's not one of those rotating ones, is it?
No, it's not a rotating. It's just a red, LED. But, yeah, I can't believe it. It's all these, I've had it 4 or 5 years. It worked flawlessly, and now it has gone by the wind tonight.
Oh, boy. And I don't know... I guess you could go online and see the clock burned out and see what the doom is for fixing it.
Yeah, I have 3 other ones. I guess I could scalp the clock out of it if I gotta have it that bad. So, at any rate, but yeah, excellent show tonight, Dennis.
All right, some great radios, and it's nice to see the different styles, and I like the way people were picking up on it tonight, saying, well, that's, I'd like to have that radio, and that one, no. And that's really when they were being designed. See, now everything is kind of techno-plasticky, whatever, but back, and it was just like a car. It was like, well, let's put some big fins on here, or let's put a side sweep and put a weird color on the side. It was all a lot of designing that didn't necessarily have to be aerodynamic or whatever. And so, yeah, now today everything is at least electronic. You're trying to be efficient. But the radios were definitely designed to look good and fit a space. And if you had to pick between one or the other, you might have to ask the XYL, and she would say, no, we were getting that one. This might not be the one you want, but that's the one that's going in the kitchen. Over.
Yeah, that's for sure. Some had a very homey look, and other ones very industrial. And yeah, you mentioned that tonight, and definitely the big contrast between the ones I checked in.
All right, and we are still live, and two people with the same remedy saying that the module for the clock needs new caps, and someone else says recapping. So were you to find the module for the clock, you might go there and find some poofy capacitors.
Well, I do have a capacitor wizard, so I guess I could take the top off and start probing around and see if that is the issue there.
Yeah, so maybe, assuming that board isn't, it's like they took a clock module board and then they built the radio, so it's not somewhere unobtainable.
Yeah, that's for sure. So a lot of that stuff, there's a lot of circuit boards in that radio.
All right, I'm going to sign out here. I may keep the stream up for a minute or two and jump over to 40 meters and see what's happening there. And then we will try to do this again next week. Oh, speaking of 40 meters, I just noticed 4799 up north, where we probably don't have conditions. I don't know. Last night, things about this time were a little long. If you were in Washington or Oregon, you could hear California. If you're in California, you couldn't hear California. But thank you up into the up in either. And the receiver, I think, is working okay. It's picking up noise. See, the last couple of weeks I've had that attenuated receiver, which is good cutting the noise floor down, brings all the levels of everybody else down, but if they're strong enough, you can hear them. Tonight, I think I've got my receive back to 100%. That's why I'm hearing all the noisy garbage tonight, so you just can't win. All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Have a great week and a weekend.
73s.
Oh boy. All right, still, it may be cold, but it's warm in this room. I'm going to turn down the audio. I'm going to undo that. And it is breezy. Can you see that outside? The wind has come up. We're going to be 10 degrees cooler tomorrow. I'm going to switch antennas. That quieted things down. We're going to switch bands. Yeah, we got... All right. Oh, hold on. There's someone testing on 7215. We're going to reconnoiter the antenna. I think without... Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I will be very sorry if I do that. Got to remember we are in the AM mode. And... All right. Locked up. Make sure that's off. And we're listening 7200. Pretty quiet. I think the band is long. Yeah. Oh yeah, way down. The short skip. Can you hear that? Just barely hear you. I can I can hear that OTR, but it is I'd have to go to the SDR to hear it. All right, we'll give you a 3 thumbs up for a good try. Good night, everybody. I'm jumping out of the air chair and going to the green room for some refreshments. I may be back on 40 meters, but I won't be talking to California, that's for sure. Good night, everybody. Is there anybody besides an Ola radio?
I think it would take well over 100.
There you go.
Close to 140 before it would budge it all. It's pretty solid. And
So we're happy about that. It's actually been waiting. It's been
7134.
5 years, and
They're probably out of state.
IRDB42 on there, but I bought it off Scan 3E5EE, and it's I don't know, I should have bought it new at the time, but anyway, it turned out having these Yagis from Poland. I think overall for where the weather up here, it's probably a better deal. I bought that antenna from Florida with the 42-foot boom altogether and the coax and wiring. And it was like a puzzle backwards, and I was having a hard time picking away at it. And anyways, it worked out, and I'm glad I went this route here. And it's working out great here. We have a son down in the Santiago, Chile. We got married down there, and we've visited a few times. And as a matter of fact, they're coming up here for Christmas, just before Christmas this year. His wife, Marielle, and bringing her mother, Marion. So it could be an interesting Christmas over.
Oh yeah, it'll be delightful for you. And I don't know if his wife states or not, but that'll certainly be fun for a mom to come up and see the holiday up here in North America. And you made the right decision not going with the stepper. I had 4 200-foot rotating towers out here for quite some time. And I had stuff monobanders with the, one of them had the big steppers on them, full-size big 40s. And I had them up 3 months, 3 sets of them, 200-foot down. And then I had the other time rigged 20 meters. Tom Maryland, with 6 on them, with the typical step arrangement, which never ever worked. This was earlier on, but I had all kinds of problems because I had lots of control lines going quite a ways. You can imagine that many towers. And the first big ice storm, we get big Arctic storms coming out of Colorado. I'm about 250 miles east of the Rockies, and it blows across the prairies out here on the ranch, and it's all snowed out, but it hit the Gulf moisture, and you'll get 1 inch to 2 inches of ice almost instantaneous, and then the downblast off the mountains across the prairies for 12 to 24 hours, 40 to 60, 70 mile an hour wind a lot of times. And every one of those steppers come apart. Within the first 3 months, I had them up, put them up in the fall of the first ice storm got them. And I had them piled up out here in a pile for a long time as some people came to pick parts off of them and stuff. And I finally hauled them off the place last year when I heard the steppers were totally going out of the amateur business. Over.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I got it's still out there in the